My name's Nate Robinson. I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur and a former professor at Linköping University. And today I'll be presenting my latest endeavor based on results from a research group involving moisture management. So if we talk about textiles, the latest revolution in moisture management was Gore-Tex, and that's 50 years old. And it's a relatively poor solution. For example, it's passive, and by that I mean it only lets water vapor out, and it only does that when it's dry outside. It's also based on environmentally hazardous fluorinated materials. However, it's a huge market. If you look just at Gore, they make over $3 billion a year in these three markets. Our dream is, we'll settle for half that market. But as a startup, we need to focus. So we're going to start with the outdoor clothing and equipment market, primarily because it's lucrative, has relatively few barriers to entry, and has very well-established brands. We're partnering with these leading brands, particularly the ones that are into technical advancements, and capitalizing on their marketing, manufacturing, and distribution networks to get our technology to market quickly and efficiently. If we focus on the market, basically, users need to stay dry to keep themselves comfortable and safe. But if a garment doesn't release moisture quickly enough, accumulated sweat can cause discomfort. It can reduce the performance of the person wearing it. And as the situation worsens, the garment can be removed, or if the temperature changes quickly, we can be exposed. And ultimately potentially become hypothermic. At this point, the user's life is in danger. This is a very serious situation. As I mentioned, there's also an environmental impact of the halogenated materials used to make breathable, water-resistant garments. There's a strong push to remove these materials from the market in Sweden and many other places. Our patented technology addresses these issues by creating a textile that effectively pumps water from one side of a fabric to the other using power from a small battery. In short, we print conducting polymers onto the customer's choice of inner and outer materials, and then we laminate them on opposite sides of a microporous membrane. When we connect a battery between the printed electrodes, water is driven through the fabric wherever the fabric is wet. Here's a film of a fabric pump on a wet table. And when we apply a potential, you'll see the drops of water getting pushed right up through the fabric. Unlike passive or breathable fabrics, which only transport water vapor and only work when it's dry out, our material pumps liquid from one side of the fabric to the other much more quickly. We then integrate this textile pump into a garment like a rain jacket. Our pump is very effective, so we only need a panel about the size of an A4 sheet of paper to keep pace with the sweat a very active person can produce. And from a user perspective, the pump is just part of the jacket, keeping them dry without them thinking about it. Our team includes experts in the technology, marketing sales expertise, textile engineers, and our advisors include further expertise in the liquid transport technology, our first market, and entrepreneurship in general. So in summary, we're bringing a patented revolutionary smart textile technology to the clothing market using existing manufacturing, distribution, and marketing channels. Capitalizing on the economy of scale well established in the electronics and textile industries, we intend to provide enormous profit for ourselves and our customers. We hope you join us as we take the lion's share of this $3 billion market and upend what the world thinks fabrics can do.
Great. Thank you, Nate, for the wonderful presentation. And now we go to the juries.
Thanks, Nate. That was super professional and informative presentation. Can you tell us what's the end price for the consumer for your first line of clothing?
It depends. So we're doing this for the brand. We expected the value added of our technology to be about 200 euros. And the normal price point for a jacket would probably start at around 500 to 700 euros. So we'd end up at 700 to 900 euros. If we're talking about a ski jacket, we have to pick some specific target here.
Thanks.
So maybe, so many of these, like especially Gore clothing, right, is used in extreme environments. Like on the top right, you have here the ice climber and so on, right? So if I imagine this being applied in environments like that, I have to think about carrying batteries, right, and making sure that I'm not running out of it if I depend on the clothing. So how is the battery consumption? How would you address these concerns?
The rate we consume the battery depends on how wet things are. But based on our calculations, a battery roughly half the size of what's in your cell phone should drive a garment, a jacket, for about 3 to 4 days in the woods in a wet climate. So, and then we can always recharge it with the same type of USB power pack you might use to regenerate this battery in your phone. So we can adjust this to the need of the particular user. A nice climber is probably only out for a day or two at a time. Somebody hiking across the jungle or a colder place is going to be out for a week or more.